Hey guys, Wolvie here with a special presentation on the potential future of Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia Global and/or JP. Now you're kind of wondering, yet another update? What's going on? Now, what I found out not too long ago is some information via Omnia. I listened to some of his listened to some of his stuff. He's very fair, unbiased in my personal opinion, and he's brought up some information on a second group that's asking the United Kingdom Parliament and the government to change their gambling laws to include microtransactions and loot boxes to be considered as a form of gambling, which could in turn affect the future of this game. So, there are 4 different articles that I found. One of them being from the BBC, another from PC Gamer, the third from Eurogamer, and the fourth from The Guardian. The PC Gamer article, which I will have a link in the description below with this particular article. The PC Gamer article does have ways to get a hold of a particular report. This particular report is called Gaming the System, and this particular report is from the Children's Commissioner, another committee of sorts in the UK. And this particular report is asking the United Kingdom Parliament and government to change the laws pertaining to gambling to include loot boxes and to include microtransactions and loot boxes to be added into the mix as a form of gambling. So that's the update they want. They want this regulation in. This is the second group, and there's the other group, the DCMS, Digital Culture, Media, and Sport. That committee, they're asking for it. Now we have the Children's Commissioner asking for it. So, again, Omnia has something on his channel already talking about this. And with this particular report, and this is outside calling for this regulation to happen, for the gambling laws to change. Another thing here is that there could be some additional changing to it, meaning that a spending limit is added into the equation. And the particular report has interviewed individuals from the ages of 10 to 16. That is not a made-up age range. The report has it. I've skimmed through it myself. Yeah, so we have minors playing video games where there are microtransactions and loot boxes involved. And now we have the second group, the Children's Commissioner. This person is asking for the UK to change things with the gambling laws currently in the UK to include the microtransactions and the loot boxes being involved as part of gambling. And I would not be surprised if there's a spending limit also added into it. Now you're thinking, or probably telling me, Wolvie, this is just the UK. It's probably not going to have an effect anywhere else. Bullshit. And the reason why I say that's bullshit is because you're looking at the United Kingdom, a very influential country, believe it or not. And one can even say that what UK is doing right now is being influenced by the US. Now, if you're looking at Europe, the UK could have influence over other countries where there have yet to be some regulations of any kind on microtransactions and loot boxes, or even spending limits. So, and this is outside of Belgium and the Netherlands because both of those countries already have regulations in place. Meaning that Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia is no longer available in Belgium, believe it or not. And for those of you who may have forgotten, it was a decision back around late last year, where Square Enix, by this game, Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia, even Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, those have made in-game announcements saying that they're going to be pulling out of Belgium due to the unclear wording of Belgium's laws. Where some think it's a cop-out excuse for not working with the government, some feel that it might have been the best thing to do because of the unclear wording And if it's unclear, sometimes the best bet is to pull out, because you don't want to get yourself too involved. So that's pretty much, the whole debate on that part. So with all of that out of the way, now we know that we have a second group in the UK that is asking for a change in the gambling laws for the United Kingdom. This could very well have an effect on other countries in Europe alongside the US and even Australia. We can all know that there's a possibility where a spending limit could be in place as well. We all know all that. So what do I think about this? As much as I like this game, we need to be talking about this. This whole thing with the spending limit, it is a welcome change. I would gladly accept the spending limit if it shows up. Because we're in an age of where information about us is easily obtainable. And this could include varying habits such as gambling. And while some people may be all whining all that stuff, the potential effects, again, it is necessary. And the reason why this is necessary is because, again, we have people underneath the legal gambling age in any country playing games like Dissidia, Final Fantasy Opera, Omnia. In addition to that, we all need to be talking about this. Because the longer we go on not talking about this, the more likely other countries besides the UK pass a regulation that we're not going to like. And if all that happens, if there is a spending limit, the City of Final Fantasy Opera Omnia all of a sudden loses revenue. And revenue is needed not just to develop future content, but you also have to rely on the revenue to fix bugs and issues that come about for any devices, whether it be Android or iPhone. And without that revenue to fix those issues, to fix the bugs, to create new content, the game dies. And unless we all come together as players, regardless if it's global or JP, talking about this, making some sense of what's the best plan of action to prevent this game from dying, this game is not going to survive for too long. And for mobile gadget games, they're typically not known to have a long shelf life. Despite the contrary for some games. And it's kind of a sad time in the sense, but sometimes the sadness is a necessity. So with my final thoughts on all of this is something that some of us should have seen coming. And with the United Kingdom being an influential country, we can see more countries making regulations on stuff like this with games that have the loot box and microtransactions aspects into it. And the more regulations show up, the more the spending limits show up, the less revenue this game gets. And without the revenue to create the content, to fix the issues, this game is dead on arrival. That's something I don't want to happen. And unless we all, as the City of Final Fantasy Opera Omnia players, are talking about it, and this is regardless if you're JP and or global, this game is more than likely not going to survive. And one of the ways to save this game, believe it or not, is by talking about the legal aspects of things. And talking about it could be the one thing that saves this game. And that's where I'm going to end this video. With Wolvie here, signing off. I will catch you all on the flip side.